Hey Crafty Peeps! Today's video is bee themed. I think that is really fun and great for your transition into summer. As you can see, I'm still working on my craft room makeover. I can't wait to show you. So that mess will hopefully be turned into a beautiful, organized system. I also want to mention that today is also a collaboration with Sarah over at Jujube DIY, and I will share more about her later. Let's get into it. I'm going to start by sprucing up this bee door hanger from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to flip it over and I'm going to paint it with white chalk paint. And then using my chalk markers, I'm going to go ahead and color the bee in with yellow and black. So I have to say, I have been collecting for this video for probably 9 months and maybe longer. I've never done a bee video, and I just kept seeing the cutest things, and so I have just been collecting them from Dollar Tree, and I'm just really excited for this video. I had so much fun making bee decor that I'm actually going to have a second video. So much fun, and I just think it's so cute to transition out of spring and into summer decor. Okay, I'm going to talk about the ribbons there off to the left. This is one of those things that popped up on my Amazon, and it was a kit with 4 different ribbons, and then it had these cute little charms, these little bee charms. And I can't remember if I use them in this video or not, or if it's in the next video. But I will link those down in the description. But most everything else is from Dollar Tree. I went in and I cut this out on my Cricut. Welcome to our hive, the best place to be. And I got this SVG off Creative Fabrica, which is one of my favorite sites to get SVGs. Now I'm going to use these yellow sunflowers from Dollar Tree, as well as the wagon wheel wreath form. You could use a regular wreath form, but I just thought this wagon wheel, again, just says summer to me, and so that's what I'm going to use. So at first here, I'm going to take a bunch here with 3 sunflowers, and then I'm going to use the zip ties there to zip tie them on. Now because this is all metal, I zip tie these on really well. Now I'm going to put this on my front door, and where I live it gets extremely hot. We're talking 115 it can get. So hot glue is not a fan here. So zip ties are my friend. And so here, the nice thing about these wired flowers is you can, as you can see, I can bend them upwards to make them so you can see them. So again, I'm going to just keep zip tying them in lots of different spaces because I want them to stay in place. And then I just repeat that going the opposite way, as you can see here. Now I do end up putting more flowers in. 3 just didn't seem like enough, and I think I end up putting 4 or 5 in to each bunch. Okay, then I'm going to start working on my ribbon, my bow. So I'm going to use these 3. There is, actually, I switch it out. So there's 2 different bees. One is like a realistic and one is like a cutesy bee. So I decided to use the cutesy bee because, of course, I have a cutesy bee as part of the wreath. Okay, so now I'm going to just make the simple bow on my bow maker, and as you can see, I have it, the little pins all the way out, and I'm going to wrap it around 3 times. That's it. These are super easy to make, and they're really good if your ribbon isn't double-sided. So I just pinch it in the middle and then use a zip tie to put it together. So look how fast and easy that bow is, super easy. Then I bring my little pins in one length, so now this ribbon, this bow is going to be a little bit shorter. And I'm going to wrap it around 3 times again. So by wrapping it 3 times, it gives me 3 loops for each side of my bow. So you can do it around twice, you can do it around once, twice, 7 times, whatever you want, however fluffy you want your bow. And then I'll move my little pins in one more time.
and I will do my final ribbon there. And then as you can see, I'm just layering this bow all together. And then once again, I'm going to take a zip tie and zip tie all three together. Now, before I fully close this zip tie, I'm going to feed another one, go in the opposite direction underneath that zip tie, okay? So that'll make it so all I have to do is zip tie this bow onto this wreath. And once I get that all zip tied down, then I can start fluffing out my bow. So as you can see here, this is the zip tie that I kind of slipped under the center of that bow. And then it makes it super easy peasy. So then now I can just fluff out that bow really nicely. And then all I have left to do is to add the bee to my wreath here. I went back and forth. Do I want it in the middle, to the side? I kind of always like things, you know, a little bit off to the side. And so I go ahead and I do that. So at first, because I'm using zip ties, I just kind of went with that. And I was gluing zip ties to the back of the bee. And that was not the thing to do. It wasn't staying glued down as well because of the hot glue and plastic. So I go back in and I use the pipe cleaners instead because those stay glued down really well. So don't do it with zip ties. They didn't stay glued to the bee, but these do stay. Now, again, if you have a super hot summer like me and you think that this may not stay down, you can always tape it down as well. Not sure that you should use a staple gun because I think that might go through all the way. But I think I have enough of the stem here that it will stay glued down because it's when it's that fabric type thing, it sticks really well. And then I just get that tied on there really nice and tight. And then what I didn't show here is that I do end up putting a little ribbon at the top so that it has something to hang by. So, and then that little, oh, I did use that little charm because that little charm I end up using there at the top of the wreath. This is a super quick DIY. I took this bottle cap metal sign here from Dollar Tree. Again, I went on Creative Fabrica and I cut this out on my Cricut. And this is a 2-layer image. And I just thought it was so cute. I went ahead and I measured my bottle cap. And then when I sized this, I sized it down just a little bit smaller. And then I just add this down. Now Cricut Design Space also has really cute SVGs as well, lots of bee ones. But again, you can get SVGs off Creative Fabrica. You can get a 1-month subscription for $1 and has unlimited downloads. Or you can just buy images and they're usually around $1. Easy peasy. I just think it's simple, but it looks so high end.
I also want to thank today's sponsor, Bellway, for sending me a pretty amazing product. It is like a fiber drink, and it also comes in a collagen, and they have protein powders, all sorts of things. And what this does is made with psyllium husk, which helps bloating. It helps keeping you full longer. It can help you lose weight. It can regulate you, of course. It's also organic, all natural, vegan, gluten-free, keto, and paleo-friendly. This is important to me because I have started doing a plant-based, I don't want to say diet, I don't like that sound, but a plant-based eating habits. And so for it being vegan, and gluten-free is really important to me. So you can use my code LisaK20 and get 20% off your first order, and all the information will be down in the description.
Okay, this bee was so much fun to make. All this wood is from Dollar Tree, this oval, and then 2 of the circle ones. You don't have to have 2, but I am going to use 1 just to keep it nice and solid, and that one is just going to hide, but it's going to keep it, you know, flat. And then I've got my two hearts here that will become the wings. And then this last little piece here is from a kit. I like to pick up a couple of these kits in their craft kid section because there's all sorts of little pieces in here that you can use on projects. So this piece I'm using, I believe, is the front of the race car. The little wheels can be great for drawer pulls or like feet on a tray. Here, or you can buy them like this where they're already together and pop them apart. So I'm going to take this little piece. I'd like it to be more pointed, so I will take my miter shears here and I will cut so that it has a more pointed tip. And then I will sand it down. All right, let's fast forward. I already painted these, and so I painted the head and the body with black chalk paint, and then the two hearts I did with white chalk paint, and then I didn't want it to be white. I wanted it to be a creamier color, so I used my Waverly paint and cashew, but it wasn't chalk paint. It was like high gloss acrylic paint, and so I didn't like that either. It's like kind of went ahead and just sanded it down. Then I went into my scrapbook stash and I grabbed some papers. I couldn't believe I didn't have any bee paper. That's just crazy for me because I have like 10,000 sheets of paper. So I am using this one with words on it that I found. It actually is double-sided. One side is music notes. And I just Mod Podge it down onto the wood. Okay, so for this one, again, it has polka dots on one side and words on the other. All right, and then what I'm going to do here with the yellow is I'm going to draw out the stripes of the bee, okay? And I'm just going to hand draw them, just kind of make that arc shape. And then I will cut them out and then I can put them right down onto the black piece. I found that's the easiest way than just to cut a yellow and cut a black. So it's much easier just to cut one of them and then Mod Podge it down onto the black piece. I go back and forth. At first I wanted to use the black with words, but then the wings had words. So I end up flipping them and I use polka dot on the body, and then I flip the head, so instead of polka dots, it's words, and I liked that much better. But again, this just goes to show you, you don't need, bee colored or, printed paper. All you need is black, yellow, and orange, and you can use any patterns. I absolutely love mixing patterns, so for me, love it. Now, this bee was inspired by a bee that my friend Linda over at FaithChick77 DIY by Design made. Hers is super elaborate. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to link it there above so you can go check it out. So if you want to kind of take this to the next level, go over and check out how she did that. It's phenomenal. Okay, once I get this all glued down, I'll Mod Podge the rest of the pieces down, and then I will just glue everything together with hot glue, and the bee is done. Now, I did go with my drill, and I tried to drill two little holes there at the top of the head, so that when I put the antennas in, they would have a nice solid fit. For whatever reason, I felt like this wood was really hard. I had a hard time drilling holes, so they're very, very shallow holes, but enough where if I filled them with glue, I could stick the little wooden dowels into them. So just a wooden dowel from Dollar Tree that I painted black and I stuck into the top, and that is it. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, it is a collab with Sarah over at Jujubee DIY. I really love her original and ideas, and she does painting, and you're really gonna love her channel. So I will link it down below, and make sure you go over and give her a visit and tell her Lisa sent you. Dollar Tree has super cute bee signs, like you literally can just buy them and add them to your decor. But of course I have to just spruce it up a little bit. So I'm using these little wood pieces that my friend Tracy makes, and I will link her site below. If you've been watching my videos, you know I use a lot of her wood shapes. And so these little honeycomb shapes, I'm just gonna put a couple up here at the top, and then I'm just going to glue those little bees on, and that's, you know, pretty much what I'm doing. I'm leaving them natural because I really like how the honeycomb there at the top has that kind of natural look, and so I don't paint any of it. And then I take a wood skewer, no, a wood stake that I picked up at the 99-cent store. They also have them at Dollar General. I saw them there as well. You could also use like paint sticks, and I'm gonna make a frame for this, and I just think it took it up quite a notch, made it look really farmhouse, like something you would buy at Hobby Lobby, and it cost me a couple dollars. I'm finally using this calendar for 2022. It has a really cute bee design in it. I actually have a couple of these because I always like to buy several just in case. So I'm actually going to give away 2 of these. So what I want you to do in the description is comment with something and use the word be in it. So let it be kind, anything like that, and you'll be entered to win one of these calendars. Okay, so there is the bee one, which I think is absolutely adorable and farmhousey. I do go ahead and show you the rest of the calendar because this is a really good calendar. I will probably use that Freedom one for 4th of July, but I am pretty much in love with every single image from this calendar. And they had a lot of good calendars this year. There's still good calendars from last year. They do have a bee one in last year's calendar. Okay, so this is a wood round from Dollar Tree. I just painted it with black chalk paint. And then I'm going to cut this out into a circle. I tried doing it with a compass. I tried doing it with a string and the pencil. I just couldn't do it. So instead, I'm just marking it a halfway point from my center, which I believe was 5.5 inches. And then I kind of just freehand the circle, which is fine because I'm not going to cut this out with regular scissors. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out with scalloped scissors. Now mine are super old. They're probably Creative Memories, who knows, but you can get these at Dollar Tree. I know they have the scalloped scissors. So you just want to slowly cut around. You want to match where the last scallop hit and cut that all the way around. Then you're just simply going to glue it down. You could use Mod Podge. but this paper is super thin and it might wrinkle up, so I just use a regular old glue stick. And as I'm watching this back, it is driving me nuts that to the right there of the hive is like it pokes out a little bit, so I'm going to fix that. That's going to make me nuts. I just use my brayer to get it put down really easily. So then I go ahead and I put the little jute right back into the back of the sign, and then I am just going to tie the simplest bow and add it to the top there over the hole, and then this project is complete. But there was something about this warmer here that just said like honey pot to me. There was something I just thought it kind of looked like a hive, like a honey pot. And so I used this little image here. I can't remember if it's from Cricut or Creative Fabrica, but I will link them below if it is. So I just add it to the front. This cute little, it says like local honey or something like that. And then I was trying to think, at first, was I going to decorate the inside or the outside? So I go ahead and I decorate this side because, again, I don't know what it is, but there was just something bee-like about this little thing. So I'm going to take some of the yellow sunflowers again, and I'm going to cut 3 of the heads off. And I'm going to glue those down to the top of this, I don't know, this little warmer. Then off to the side there, you'll see I have a couple bees, again, from my friend's wood shop that she sells. And I use my chalk markers there to color them. I highly recommend you having a set of chalk markers. It makes painting little wood objects like that so much easier because, one, who wants to get out all those paints and then the paintbrush, you gotta clean it in between. This is so fast and not messy at all. So highly, highly recommend them. I do have some acrylic markers, but I prefer the chalk. The chalk covers much better and then dries so fast. So you can see there, I have 1 bee flying sideways, and then the other bee I just put on a toothpick that I will glue to the flower. And then lastly, I'll just add a little bow, and this cute little bee decor piece is finished. I think it just adds so much to the whole bee decor that I will be putting out. I hope you enjoyed this bee video as much as I did making all of these. Stay tuned because there will be a part 2. And don't forget to check out Sarah's channel down in the description and get more bee-themed ideas. Until next time, happy crafting!